Hello ladies and gents, my name's Jack. Welcome to Peach Guitars. Today we're going to take a quick look at what Gibson has just done to the standard ES-335. So folks, welcome to another video. As I mentioned in the introduction there, we're taking a little look at what Gibson's just decided to do to their USA standard 335 model. Now for the past few years, you've had various different options in the lineup, but what was lacking was that same kind of streamlined sensibility that they applied a few years back when Gibson underwent this big resurgence and kind of top-down restructuring that they applied to their Les Paul and SG models, which really helped things out for players looking for those guitars. So what they did, in effect, is they categorized them in an era-specific way. So you then had a Les Paul Standard 50s, Les Paul Standard 60s, and what that meant is that the player could easily find the instrument that would work for them in terms of the way they wanted the neck profile to feel and the different finish options that were available as well. There are a few differences aside from that, different pickups, but it really helped if you were in the market for a Les Paul and you knew you either wanted a 50s, fatter, thicker neck profile, or a 60s with the slimmer neck profile. That kind of made up your mind for you. They've done the exact same thing now with their ES-335 guitars, and to me anyway, it makes a whole lot of sense. So let's delve into a couple of the specifics, the differences between the two, and why you may choose one over the other. So I'll actually start counterintuitively with the 60s model because that's the guitar that I'm holding. So this is the ES-335 60s in vintage sunburst. Gorgeous looking guitar, so there's a bunch of new finishes, and the way Gibson do it is they have specific finishes for particular models. So these 60s guitars come in a range of different colors, including 60s cherry. We also have the walnut finish. I think that's really cool. And this vintage sunburst. All three of those look great and are era specific. The 50s guitar, which I'll come on to in a moment, has a bunch of different finishes that are unique to that. But things that set the 60s guitar apart from the 50s would be a slim taper neck profile. You also have different pickups in here. These are T-top pickups. I find them to be a little bit brighter and they have a bit more of a mid-range punch to them. And there's also one subtle difference which I'll talk about with the 50s guitar when I'm actually holding it, which is the shape and size of the pickguard. You also, crucially, have different tuners. The 60s model has Grover tuners. Again, I feel like these have a very slightly different tonal profile, believe it or not, but I do think that. I think they have a little bit more of a pronounced mid-range to the tone. So again, these guitars, the 60s ones, have this slightly more aggressive, a little bit leaner in the low frequency kind of response. And what that suggests to me is this makes for a great overdriven tone. It's a bit more focused, it's a little bit more direct and punchy than the 50s guitar. Both sound fantastic for any application, but that's what I would personally go to a 60s guitar for, is that slightly different tonal profile. And of course, if there's just a colour or the feel of the neck that takes your fancy, it's obviously the way to go. And the other most crucial design difference that you'll easily be able to spot, which is probably the easiest way to differentiate the two models, are the fret inlays. So the 60s has the blocks, and we've got the dot markers now on the 50s guitar specifically. Okay, so moving forwards but simultaneously backwards to the 50s model now. I grabbed the Sunburst one just to highlight that there is a difference between the two. So the 60s guitar is a vintage burst. This one is a vintage tobacco burst. So you can see that there is a difference in the hue of the burst. It's a little bit browner around the edges. It's a bit more of a tobacco, as the name would imply. But it's crucial to note as well that every single finish is subtly different. And the beautiful thing is you can go to the website, check out the landing page for any of these guitars and individually pick the exact guitar that you would like, and in turn be able to see the full range of high definition photos of every guitar that we have in stock, so you can pick the exact burst or indeed any of the other finishes that you would like. But that as an aside, the specifics of the 50s guitar, as I say, there are a few crucial differences, most notably the neck profile. So the 50s has a much fatter neck profile, it's more of a rounded C. If you're familiar at all with Gibson's guitars, it's the exact same principle that you will know and love comparing the 50s model to a typical 60s model. It's a little bit thicker with the 50s. I think that lends itself to a slightly bigger tone. Maybe you get a little bit more sustain out of the 50s guitars as well. Different tuning pegs, so we have the Gibson Deluxe Clusen style vintage 50s era appropriate tuners. I mentioned something that was quite unique about the pickguard, which is that the 50s has the elongated, oversized pickguard as the original models did. You might not notice it at first, but once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And then most crucially as well, the pickups are different. So these are actually Alnico 3 magnet custom buckers, so custom shop level pickups in these guitars. They both sound great. I think these are maybe a little bit warmer. They have a slightly softer attack, largely down to the Alnico 3 magnets. And it's just a nice contrast to the 60s guitar. And you will hear throughout the course of this video some direct tonal comparisons. Of course, that encompasses a lot of different attributes of the guitar, but you will hear the two different pickup configurations or pickup types playing their part in that comparison. So the three finishes that the 50s guitar comes in is this vintage tobacco burst alongside an ebony and the vintage natural, which I think is probably one of my favorite looks for a 335. It's very specific to that late 50s era guitar that they didn't make for very long at all, and yet it's really become synonymous with the guitar, with the model, and with the brand in general. They all look stunning. I think all the finishes really suit each individual model. They're an absolute joy to play as well, and I really love the delineation of 50s and 60s. It just makes so much sense now that Gibson have decided to extend this to the 335 and hopefully other models in their lineup still to come. But it just makes the purchasing decision a little bit easier, I find, to have that 50s or 60s distinction. Most guitar players know exactly what that means and what to expect. So if you're in the market for a 335 now, hopefully some of the questions that you may have had in the past have now been answered straight from Gibson. So it's very helpful. So that's it, short and sweet for today's video, folks. I hope that you've enjoyed it and get something out of it. If you do, please leave a like. Please hit subscribe so you don't miss any future content from us. Drop a comment down below with your thoughts. And crucially, I'd like to know, would you go 50s? Would you go 60s? Which is your favorite color? Who's your favorite 335 player from history? Just let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you want to find out any more about these guitars, any of the other Gibson products that we stock, or indeed any of the other products we stock full stop, head to the website via the link in the description below and have all of your queries satisfied. So there we are, folks. Thanks very much as always for watching. Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.